Kia ora everyone, Donnalouise here, and thanks for popping by. In just over 2 weeks, I hop on my flights to head back over to Valladolid, Spain to take part in the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships. It starts on Monday, September 15th and runs through to Sunday, September 21st. All the competition will be live stream. I'm told it'll be on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So plenty of content for you all to watch live, or if you can't watch live, you can watch after the fact. I've been asked to commentate, but I don't know my schedule yet, so I'm not sure when I'll be commentating, but I'll keep you all posted. While in Valladolid, I'll capture as much footage as possible, not just of the competition in the dome, but everything else that I'm up to, especially the pop-up shop that Peace Relax is putting on, which is going to be so much fun. Make sure to go by if you're there. Peace Relax, again, is sponsoring me this trip, and I'm so excited that they're bringing along a huge team to put up a pop-up event. There's lots of free and fun activities for you to do, jigsaw puzzles to collect. There's the custom badge, puzzle badge that you'll want to get, the custom collaboration with Marie Boisseau, the Jigsaw Puzzle Journal. You'll definitely want to get that. There's like a mini speed puzzling event in which you can grab yourself some Chupa Chup puzzle keychains. So there's a lot going on. I did a full video about the pop-up shop. I'll leave links to that in the description below. Go check it out. I'll also leave links to all the websites with the pop-up shop information. It runs all week, I think from noon to at least 7 p.m. I think it closes early a bit on the last day, but there's so much fun. So definitely while you're there, apart from the competition, checking out Valladolid, make sure to go by the Peace Relax pop-up shop. I'm really excited this year because Allison's coming along. Her and I are pairing up together, and then we're teaming up with Jeanette and her boyfriend Blash. It's going to be so much fun. And let me know in the comments below if you are coming as well, and if it's your first time or if you've been in previous years. This is my 3rd year already, and I absolutely love going. I just love the puzzle atmosphere, getting together with everyone and having fun. I would really like to see it become more of a convention, not just a competition, but have like, you know, multiple vendors where you could buy different brands and puzzles and maybe artists' signatures and signing, Q&As or panels, discussion panels, other puzzling event. They do try, like last year, they put up a screen outside so people could watch. They put up some tables so people could puzzle, which is why I'm really glad Peace Relax has their pop-up shop, because that'll be some extra fun puzzle activities to do. So maybe one day I'd love to see like the competition be more than just a competition, be more like an annual convention. So yeah, I know it's going to be fun. For this video though, I thought I would cover, I say quickly or briefly, but it'll probably take longer than that, all the rules for the 3 categories, individual, pairs, and teams. There's been some changes this year, as well as let you know the preparation I've done for the competition. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, but my main goal this year is basically have fun and not stress. So let's start with the individual round. And again, I have all my notes here, and so I will refer to them quite a bit just because there's been quite a few changes, and this is as best as I understand the rules. So hopefully I don't make any mistakes, and some things could potentially change from now until the actual competition. So here we go. First of all, the individuals will be comprised of 3 rounds, like a preliminary, a semifinals, and a finals. What I understand for the preliminary round, there's 6 preliminary rounds, up to 200 puzzlers per round. Now, right now, I know I'm in round B, and there are a total of 168 puzzlers in that round. And of course, that number could change. There could be some last-minute dropouts or some new last-minute registration. So currently, I'm in round B with 168 puzzlers. Now, the twist this year, which I'm excited and nervous for, usually we get the puzzle in a bag, we pull it out, everybody does the same puzzle. But this year, for the preliminary round, you are given a bag, but with 2 puzzles in it. You open it up, you pull out the 2 puzzles, and then you decide which one you want to do. So there you go. Which one do you want to do? Well, frankly, of these 2, I'd rather do neither, but I would pick Spikes over Epic Journey. So that's the big twist. 500-piece puzzle. Again, all Ravensburger Jigsaw Puzzles because they're the sponsor. But the twist is for the preliminary round, as an individual, you are given 90 minutes like last year. However, you're given 2 puzzles and you have to choose which one you're going to do. This to me is a bit of an added stress because you really have to think, what's the better puzzle for you? It may not be the same puzzle that everybody else is doing. And like, do I pick the puzzle I think will be the most fun because then I'll be happier and more relaxed? Or do I just simply pick the puzzle I think for me will be the fastest? Probably. And what if I start to doubt myself? Like, I think it's a fun twist, but I think it's gonna catch a lot of people up unless you've done both puzzles before. So like if you've done both puzzles before and you've timed yourself, you can have an idea and go, oh, definitely this one, definitely not that one, you know. But what if they're two new to you puzzles and you've not done them before? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, which one do I do? So I have no idea how much time we have to decide which puzzle to do. I don't know if it's just open it up, grab one, leave the other one in the bag, put it on the floor. I don't know that yet. But the big twist is still 90 minutes, but you're given 2 500-piece jigsaw puzzles and you have to pick which one to do. What do you think of that twist? Leave your comments below. I can't wait to hear what everybody thinks. For me, I think it's going to be stressful. Fun, but stressful. Now, a lot of the same rules apply as last year, some little changes, and they apply for individual pairs and teams. Like, they want to make sure you note when you're done the puzzle. So, hands up, yell time, stop, finish, finito, kaput, whatever. And that way the judge knows, okay, they're done, they can note your time. For every missing piece you have, it's a 5-second penalty now, not 10 seconds, 5 seconds. So think about this. You finish the puzzle, you notice you have 1 piece missing. Do you just go time, they stop your clock, write your time down, and add a 5-second penalty? Or do you take time to look on the floor, in the bag, around to see if you can find that missing piece? It's just 5 seconds. I think, this is my opinion, if it's just 1 missing piece, I'm going to go time, done, don't freak out. If it's 2 or more missing pieces, then I want to take the effort to look in the bag, on the floor, around the table, try to find them. But if I can't, I don't want to waste time, and so I'll go, okay, finish time, and take the penalty. So what do you think? It's a 5-second penalty. And you kind of decide when the clock stops. Because you could have 3 missing pieces, and you could take a minute to keep looking for the pieces, and the clock will still go. But are you wasting time looking for pieces? So let me know what you think about the whole missing piece 5-second time rule. That's very interesting. Now, as of previous year, last year, there is a rule against like manufacturing defect. I believe if there's 2 or more connected missing pieces, it's not your fault. No time penalty will apply. So that's the same. It's up to you to decide, you know, do you spend the time looking for the pieces? Do you call time and take the penalty? It's only 5 seconds this year, not 10. Leave your thoughts below. I'm very curious about that. Now, to move from the preliminary round to the semifinals, the top 85 puzzlers from each of those 6 preliminary rounds will advance to the semifinals. If there's a tie for the 85th spot, all tied players will move to the semifinals. And if you don't finish the puzzle in 90 minutes, it's the piece count that's recorded instead of your time. Again, 3 or more like connected pieces count as being complete. So those are all like rules that we're familiar with. Now, the country rule is quite a bit different, and in my opinion will be like less impactful. Is that a word? Less, I don't want to say significant. I think you know what I mean. It won't, I don't want to say it won't matter as much. Impactful, I guess, is that a word? Hopefully that's a word. I think you know what I mean. So I've read this rule and I think I understand it. And please correct me in the comments if I have it wrong. So at the end of all 6 preliminary rounds, when we have all 85 top puzzlers advancing to the semifinals, if there's any country without any puzzlers that have advanced, so for example, we have 12 Kiwis going from New Zealand. Imagine over the 6th round, none of us, 12 Kiwis, have made it in the top 85. So there's no Kiwi, no New Zealander in the semifinal round. What they will do is they will look at all of us New Zealanders from across all those rounds, and they'll pick the one that had the highest ranking and advance them to the semifinal round. That's how I understand it. I've read it, I've reread it, and I think I have that correct. And so basically, top 85 from all 6 rounds advance. Any country without a puzzler that was in one of those top 85 groups, you pick the best puzzler of the ones from that country and they advance to the semifinal round. Does that make sense? Is that how you understand that rule? And in your opinion, do you think it'll be less impactful as what it was last year? Last year, it was significant in some of the rounds. I don't think it'll be as drastic or as significant here, but it's still nice because it helps get as many countries represented in the semifinal round. So yeah, so that's how I understand the country rule. So then what happens is that preliminary groups A, B move to semifinal 1, preliminary groups C, D move to semifinal 2, and preliminary groups E, F move to semifinal 3. So there's 3 semifinals. Now, if I understand this correctly, there's at most 180 puzzlers per semifinal. In the preliminary round, the puzzles are puzzles that are previously released, which means you, me, everyone could have done them. But for the semifinal round, it says that they're going to be unpublished puzzles from the 2026 Ravensburger catalog, which means no one should have done the puzzle before, at least from the Ravensburger brand. It's still a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle, and they lower the time to 75 minutes. And then the top 60 will advance from each semifinal round to the finals. No country rule applies to advance from the semifinals to the finals. In the finals, now there could be a few more or less, because if there's ties, they advance all people that tied. So there could be a few more, but there should be around 180 puzzlers in the finals. For the finals, again, it's another 500-piece Ravensburger unpublished puzzle from the 2026 catalog with 75 minutes to complete it. The one that completes the fastest is the overall winner. And the same rules apply for the semifinals and the finals, meaning yell time, yell stop, 5 seconds per missing piece. You decide how long you look for it or don't look for it. 2 or more connected missing pieces, manufacturing defect. Yeah, and if you don't finish in time, it's the number of pieces you have connected with 3 or more pieces joined, counting as being complete. So what do you think of all the little changes? So for the individual preliminary round, the big change is 2 500 puzzles, and you pick which one to do. You still have 90 minutes. 5-second penalty instead of 10 seconds, and you have to clearly denote when to stop the clock. Then the country rule, I feel, is less impactful. But it's still nice because it tries to get as many countries represented in the semifinals. The semifinals time is now 75 minutes, and I honestly can't remember if the semifinals last year was also 75 minutes. 500-piece unpublished puzzle, and then no country rule going into the finals, and then the finals, 75 minutes, 500-piece unpublished puzzle. But leave your comments below. I want to know what you think about the country rule. I think it's really good. The 2 500-piece jigsaw puzzles, I think that's going to stress me out. And then the 5-second penalty, I think that's better too. Now, what have I specifically done to practice for the individuals for Worlds? First of all, I've done a few speed puzzling competitions, but I focus on trying to stay calmer and not get as nervous and not shake as much. But I've also stopped timing myself. Unless it's a puzzle that, like the UK Nationals jigsaw puzzle, their individual one, the teacups. I timed myself for that one. And I also timed myself for the Emotions 2 Inside Out jigsaw puzzle to try to get a personal best. So I did time myself for 2 puzzles. But the rest, I've done a lot of 500-piece Ravensburger puzzles. I've stopped timing myself. In fact, I've kind of stopped even speed running them because I want to learn the image. In case the puzzle appears at Worlds, I want to remember that, oh, for spikes, there's like these little blue lines over here and little blue lines here, and this looks like that and that looks like this, and there's only so many transition pieces. So it's been more important for me to focus on learning the image, getting comfortable with the puzzle, And another reason why I've stopped timing myself is I've noticed when I have a preconceived idea of how well I've done on a puzzle, and then I get it at a competition and I go, well, you know, you did this puzzle in 1 hour and 4 minutes. You should be able to do it better. You should be able to do it under 1 hour. And I stress myself out. So I've decided no. I time myself individually on very few puzzles now. I really don't. In fact, I honestly don't speed run a lot of them. I just do them to learn the image. And my last competitions, New Zealand Nationals, I was just content. I was happy, and I kind of use it as a warm-up. I will admit now that I use the individuals as a warm-up to pairs, and I'm trying to take less stress and pressure off of myself. I have tried to make like a note, a list of puzzles that I think might appear at Worlds and which ones I should choose over which other one. The problem will be if I get 2 puzzles I've never done before, then I think I just look at them, colorful, fun illustration, which puzzle would make me happier? Which puzzle would make me enjoy the puzzling experience more? But I've stopped timing myself. And what do you think about that? And I've tried to stop looking at other people's times because it just stresses me out because I can't compete. I know I can't compete. I know I can't compare. I really don't think that I will finish in the top 85, and that's fine. I don't plan or expect to advance from the preliminaries to the semifinals, and I'm okay with that. For me, it's so much more than just the competition. I want to go out and puzzle with everyone. Some people are out there speed puzzling every day, multiple times a day, puzzle after puzzle, and the same puzzle repeatedly. I just don't have the time, or I'll admit the desire, because I'm an overall puzzler. I'm not just a speed puzzler. I really enjoy the competition. I love going out and being with everyone. But yeah, individuals, really my preparation is to have fun, stay calm, try to do the best I can, and use it as like loosening up for pairs. The pairs category is going to be run very similarly to the individual one. 3 rounds, preliminary, semifinal, finals, and I'm really, really excited for pairs. I'm really excited for that because I love puzzling with Allison. So let me have a look at my notes here. First of all, for the preliminary, there will be 4 preliminary rounds with up to 200 pairs in each round. Like right now, I looked at Allison and we're actually in round B, and there's currently 153 pairs. Now, again, those numbers could change with more people registering or people dropping out. The same twist applies that was for individuals as for pairs. You open the bag, you have 2 500-piece jigsaw puzzles, and you have to choose which one to do. These are puzzles that could be previously released. So Allison and I have been speed puzzling, and we have an idea of which puzzle we should do. However, what if they're 2 brand new to us puzzles we've never done? Now, you are given, let me look at my notes. Does it say? It's 75 minutes. So after you see the 2 puzzles, yeah, 75 minutes for pairs, even in the preliminary round. Just 75 minutes. The same thing applies. Make sure it's clear. You yell time, stop, the 5-second penalty for missing piece, but consecutive missing pieces, manufacturing defect. So you have to agree with your pairs partner. If there's 1 missing piece, do we bother looking for it? Do we just yell time? 2 or more missing pieces, what should we do? Allison and I had a plan where like maybe when there's like 10 pieces left, can someone quickly count and determine, do we have a missing piece? Usually when you get close down to the end, you can tell there's obviously 1 piece missing. Should we be like, oh, piece missing, and one of us stops puzzling and has a look in the bag, on the floor, in the box for the missing piece? I think that's what we're going to try to do. On paper, it sounds good, but will we be able to do it? So it's the same thing, hands up, yell time, stop. They stop the clock, 5 seconds per missing piece. Now for pairs, after the 75 minutes, 85 top pairs from each of those 4 rounds will advance to the semifinals. And the same country rule applies, but it's at the pair level. Now, the one difference is if you're a mixed pair, meaning you're a pair from 2 different countries, the country rule will not apply to you. Hopefully, again, like this is what I understood from reading all the rules. So if I was puzzling with Jeanette this year, for example, even if we said we wanted to represent New Zealand, The country rule wouldn't apply to us because Jeanette's from Slovenia. But Allison and I both being Kiwis, then the country rule would apply for us. And Jeanette's puzzling with Blaž. They're both from Slovenia, so the country rule would apply to them for Slovenia. So after the 4 rounds are done and the top 85 puzzlers advance, if there's ties, everyone who tied for 85th place advances. They then look at all the countries that don't have representation in the semifinals, and they take the top puzzler from each of those countries. But that's again how I understand the country rule. And so the main change is there. Again, 2 puzzles, you have to pick which one to do, 500 pieces, only 75 minutes for the pairs preliminary round. The top 85 pairs advance, same all rules apply, and the country rule applies similarly to individuals, but you can't be a mixed pair. Then for the pairs semifinals, all the pairs that advance from rounds A, B go to semifinal 1, and all the pairs that advance from C, D go to semifinals 2. There should be a maximum of 180 pairs per semifinal, but there's some leeway there for ties and whatnot. Similarly to the individuals, it's going to be an unpublished 500-piece Ravensburger jigsaw puzzle from their 2026 catalog, but you now in the semifinal only have 60 minutes as a pair to complete the puzzle. Whoa. Yeah, I'm just looking at that. 60 minutes. Okay. Let's hope. Well, I don't know. Would you rather see a difficult puzzle, not many people finish it, and you're waiting for the piece count? Or would you rather see an easier puzzle, which most, 90% of the pairs finish? I like when people get to finish the puzzle. I would prefer it to be a puzzle that people can finish in time, but that's just my opinion. Then to go to the finals, it's only the top 50 pairs from each of the semifinals that will advance to have 100 pairs in the finals. You're given 2 hours because it's a 1,000-piece Ravensburger jigsaw puzzle unpublished from their 2026 catalog. So just to quickly recap, the main changes are preliminary round pairs, you're also given 2 500-piece puzzles. You have to pick which one to do with your pair's partner. 75 minutes. Then the same similar country rule, which is different from last year, but similar to individuals, to get everyone to the semifinals round. The semifinals round, an unpublished 500-piece, but you're only given 60 minutes. No country rule applies from semifinals to finals. And 85 pairs advance from each of those preliminary rounds to the semifinals. But then only, Only 50 pairs from the semifinal rounds advance to the finals. That's going to be tricky. And then you have 100 pairs in the final round, and it's a 1,000-piece puzzle, which is similar to previous years. But it's exciting, it's fun, but it's going to be so interesting too. So what have Allison and I been doing to practice? We are actually avidly practicing speed puzzling together, but once a week. We can only get together once a week on Fridays, and we've been doing tons of 500-piece jigsaw puzzles. I've got my hands on as many of the newest Ravensburger jigsaw puzzles that I could find and get. And we've been doing them, timing ourselves, making a plan, a strategy, having a list in our head of which ones we did better than other ones. Again, if it's 2 puzzles that we don't know, we've never done before, then we just have to go with what we think is best for us. We kind of made a plan about, missing pieces, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. But overall, we've tried to do as many puzzles as possible, and we've started doing some 1,000-piece puzzles as well, just for stamina. Because the 1,000 pieces at the finals, can we qualify from preliminaries to semifinals? Potentially. Top 85, we have 153 pairs, potentially. I have a much better chance of qualifying, advancing with Allison as pairs than I do as individuals. But I'm not the type of person that's like, oh yeah, definitely, no problem. That's not me. But I don't want to be completely negative and be like, there's no chance. Ugh. So I'm cautiously optimistic. And no matter what, it's going to be so much fun puzzling with her. I know neither of us will be disappointed if we don't qualify in advance to semifinals. If we do get to semifinals, though, trying to get to finals, That realistically, I think will be tough. Top 50 pairs, I think that'll be tough because in each of those semifinal rounds, if I look correctly, there is 180 pairs in each of those 2 semifinal rounds and only the top 50 advance to finals. I think that's tough. If we get to semifinals, I'll be ecstatic, but getting to finals will be very difficult because there are some fast puzzlers this year and a lot of new pairs, a lot of new puzzlers. We don't know who's all coming to the competition, so we could be in for a big surprise. And then finally we come to teams, and this is probably the category that has the least changes. A team consists of 3 or 4 puzzlers. You're given 3 hours, and there's 2 rounds. I'll call it a preliminary and a final. This year, there's 4 preliminary rounds with at most 100 teams in each round. You're given 4 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzles, and you choose which of the 2 to do. My first year at Worlds, we didn't choose wisely in the preliminary round. My second year at Worlds, we chose wisely in the preliminary rounds. So picking puzzles is not new to Worlds. It's just going to be new in the individual and pairs category. But for teams, you always had to choose, from the 4 puzzles, you always had to pick 2 to do. So that's all the same. Again, the same rules will apply with missing pieces and whatnot. But what you have to do, you assemble the first puzzle. When you're done, hands off, time, judge confirms puzzle's complete, destroy the puzzle, pick it up, back in the box, you start the second puzzle. If at the end of the 3 hours you're not complete, any 3 or more connected pieces counts as a finished piece and you get a piece count. It'll be interesting, I think, because with teams it's easier to look for missing pieces because when you're getting down to those last pieces, there's often too many hands on the puzzle. So if it's obvious, oh look, this very red piece of a flower is missing, one of the team members could look on the floor in the bag and try to find the missing piece. So I think it's worth taking the time and effort for one person, if it's obvious there's a missing piece, to have a look. We are currently in, round C. So again, it's myself, Allison, Jeanette, and Blanche puzzling together. We're in round C, and that has 63 teams currently in it, but of course it could go up to 100 teams. The top 25 teams from each of those rounds advances. That's not a lot. So right now we have 63 teams, and the top 25 will advance. Our group could grow to 100 teams if more people register. So top 25 only advance to the finals. I think it's going to actually be kind of tricky to go from the preliminary to the finals in teams. There is a country rule applied for teams as well, however, with some limitations. First of all, if your team does not have a country majority, then you don't qualify. So you need 3 or more people from the same country to be able to use the country rule for that country. So we're 2 Kiwis and 2 Slovenians, so no, we will not be able to use a country rule, which is fine. And if you had 4 puzzlers all from different countries, you won't be able to apply a country rule. That's totally fine. I agree with that. However, there's only going to be at most 5 countries that advance from the preliminary round to the finals using the country rule. So it's not going to be that impactful. But yeah, only 5 countries. So you have your 4 preliminary rounds. The top 25 teams from each preliminary round will advance to the final, and then at most 5 countries will advance by the country rule. And the country rule is the same. It'll be interesting to see how it applies here. So every country that's not represented in the finals, they will list them to see who finished the highest, the best, and they will pick the top 5 countries of those to go to the finals. Am I explaining that correctly? I think I am. It makes sense in my head, but there's only going to be at most 5 countries. Could be more if there's ties or whatnot. So in the finals then, you will have 100 teams, potentially up to 105. Similarly to last year, for the teams finals, you're given 2 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzles, but unpublished, unreleased from the 2026 Ravensburger catalog, so no one would have seen them or done them before. You have your 3 hours to try to complete them. Again, you start one, finish it, pack it up, start the second one, finish it. Now, there is one thing. If you do start one of the jigsaw puzzles, and for whatever reason you decide you don't want to do it anymore, you have to fully disassemble it, pack it up before you can start the second jigsaw puzzle, which makes sense. So basically choose wisely. In my opinion, start with the easier of the two puzzles so you can get it done faster. Leave the more difficult puzzle as the second puzzle. And that applies for the preliminary round and the finals as well. So for the teams, this is where there's the least amount of change. You still have the 4 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzles. You still pick 2 of the 4. You still have the 3 hours. There is a modified country rule, which is very similar to individual and pairs, but only 5 countries will advance to the finals. But a lot less teams will advance. I mean, 25 teams from each of those 4 rounds. That's not a lot. I honestly think advancing in teams will be one of the more difficult categories. Is it just me? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I just think 25, that's tough. Yeah, leave your comments below. Which one of the sections do you think will be the more difficult to advance? More difficult to go individuals, preliminary to semifinal, pairs, preliminaries to semifinal, or teams, preliminary to finals? I'm thinking teams will be quite tricky. I don't know, you get 4 amazing puzzlers together, whew, they're on fire. On fire. But yeah, so that's basically the 3 categories and the rules. Hopefully I've explained them all correctly. What do you think? What do you think of all the different changes? Yeah, I think the introduction of the 2 puzzles for individual and pairs, and you pick which one to do. I'm excited for that, but also nervous. I'm glad the 10 seconds has gone down to 5 seconds for a missing piece. And the country rule, I feel, has been modified in a way that will be less impactful, but still make sure that a lot of countries are represented in the next round. And I think that's fun. So yeah, I'm excited about all this. I don't expect to qualify from preliminary to semifinals for individuals. I hope to qualify from preliminary to semifinals with pairs. And for teams, ooh, I think it's going to be difficult. I don't want to say no and be completely negative, but oh, top 25, that's going to be tricky. But yeah, leave your thoughts below. So obviously for teams, I haven't been able to puzzle with Jeanette and Blanche. I've never actually puzzled with Blanche. I've puzzled a lot with Jeanette. Obviously I puzzle a lot with Allison. So what I've been doing here locally in Dunedin, we have our Dunedin team of Allison, Julia, Victoria, and myself, and we've been puzzling a lot together, doing as many Ravensburger puzzles as we can and other brands. But of course, we can't assume that we will puzzle the same way when we puzzle with Jeanette and Blanche. But we're coming up with ideas and tips and thoughts. And then when we all get together in Valladolid, Spain, we will try, hopefully, find the time to do 1 or 2 puzzles all together. But for example, Allison has never done 2 1,000-piece puzzles back to back within 3 hours. But she has a lot of stamina. I know she can do it. So we will try to get together in Valladolid. I mean, we will get together in Valladolid and do 1 or 2, 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzles and have an idea, like, where are people going to sit at the table? Who's going to sort? Who's going to do the border? What type of puzzles will we choose? So we'll come up with a little bit of plan. But when it comes to teams, I just really want to have fun. I can't wait to puzzle with Blanche and Jeanette. It's going to be a good time. I know we're going to have fun no matter what. I just really hope they're fun puzzles. I want to have fun puzzle images, and that way I know we'll all have fun. This video is going to be quite long. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much, and hopefully I explained all the rules correctly. I wrote everything out. I think I understand everything. I hope I understood everything. So please correct me if I'm wrong on anything. And there could well be a limit as well to the number of countries that advance in the individual and pairs preliminary to semifinals. I'm not sure about that. But they definitely spelt it out for countries that it was only 5. And probably that's because it was going from the preliminary to the finals. Should teams have a semifinal round? I mean, the competition is getting long enough already. Should teams have a semifinal round? And maybe that's why there's so few teams advancing, it feels to me, because there isn't that middle semifinal round. It's from preliminaries to finals. But yeah, what do you think about everything? Now, when I'm there, like I said, I will try to capture as much extra footage of, the things I get up to in Valladolid, of the Peace Relax pop-up shop. There's going to be lots of fun things to do. I do believe the Sunday before the competition starts, there's a whole festival in town, and there's other events going on at the competition, which I haven't even addressed. There's a Guinness World Record attempt. There's also like a federation country competition. A documentary that was filmed 2 years ago will premiere. So there's other things going on as well. And I'll cover all those in my post-trip, videos. But yeah, I'm just excited to be going. I hope the jet lag isn't too bad. I promise I'll make plenty of posts. I'll try to do some impromptu live streams. Definitely let me know if you're coming. Definitely say hi. Let's try to puzzle together. Go over to the Peace Relax pop-up shop and just remember to have fun. So until next time, ciao. I almost forgot, Allison's husband, Chris, is coming along with us, and Allison asked him to get us a flag. Now, if you don't know the story behind it's called the Kiwi Laser Eye flag, or the Laser Eye Kiwi flag. What was it? 10 years ago, I think, in 2015, New Zealand had a referendum to decide whether or not it should change its national flag. And they asked members of the public to submit designs. And at the time, it's been 10 years, it was a child who submitted the Kiwi Laser Eye flag. And this flag, got so much attention and popularity. It's kind of become like a pop culture kind of icon. So when Allison asked Chris to organize a flag for us, he said, "I'm on it." And he got us a slightly modified Kiwi Laser Eye flag. And this is what we'll be bringing to Worlds with us. And I absolutely love it.